Bangladesh is voting in its first election since the 2024 uprising that led to the collapse of Sheikh Hasina's government after nearly a decade and a half in power and ushered in an interim administration under Muhammad Yunus. With the Awami League barred from contesting, there are two major political forces this time vying for victory in these elections. First is the BNP, led by former PM Khaleda Zia's son Tariq Rahman, and then the second is a coalition of Islamist parties led by Jamaat-e-Islami. Opinion polls vary widely, though most give BNP the lead, with some suggesting a knife-edge race. Over 127 million voters are casting ballots to elect 300 lawmakers directly, with a further 50 women chosen from the party list. A total of 2,034 candidates are contesting the election. Voting is being conducted across 43,000 polling centres, housing approximately 260,000 polling booths. These are pivotal elections taking place in Bangladesh. The world is watching at this point. Ever since the ouster of Sheikh Hasina in 2024 in an uprising which took place in July, Bangladesh is being headed by an interim government under the leadership of Muhammad Yunus. The caretaker government will now pass over to the elected government. These are elections which are widely watched. Voices from around the world rooted in Bangladesh have said this is the first proper democratic process taking place in Bangladesh in over 15 years. We've seen first-time voters come out. Till now, the voting numbers are very wide. We've seen visuals of people lining up outside polling booths, and this has been in the early hours of the day. We have our ground reporters deployed across the capital, Dhaka, to bring us exactly what's the pulse on ground. And this is happening in the midst of very heavy security presence. Bangladesh has seen immense violence and turmoil leading up to these elections. There has been a spree of political violence and extended persecution of minorities, especially Hindus, in the lead up, especially in the last year and a half. All right, so let me now cut across to Siddhant Sibal, our Assistant Director of Foreign Affairs, joining us from Dhaka. Siddhant, it's been a few hours now since polling started. We've seen those heavy lines. Tell us exactly what the pulse of the voter is at this point. What are they wanting and what's the turnout looking like?
Well, the voters want good governance, and that's the view I'm getting from the ground. And the lines continue to become longer and longer with each passing hour, as many millions are voting. Many have already done so since morning. We have spoken to many, and of course, the conversations have been sent since morning. With me is Rabbi. He is our correspondent in Bangladesh. It's great to have you here in Dhaka, and of course, perhaps you know the pulse better than I would know. But my first question to you will be on another big thing that's happening. We all are focusing on the elections, but it's the referendum as well. Perhaps you can break down about referendum, why this referendum is seen important?
So this is not the first time Bangladesh is having a national referendum. This is actually the fourth time. Earlier on 1977, 1985, 1991 there was referendum, and three of those elections those won. So this time it's yet to be said what's going to happen, but the people are enthusiastic. They're giving the parliamentary vote alongside the national referendum vote, and the national referendum, it consists of 84 reform resolutions. So among the 84, 47 will be conducted through constitutional amendments, and the others, they will be conducted through executive orders. So if the public says yes.
But Rabbi, what's the big development, or perhaps the points? There are 84 points, I believe. What are the three big key points in the referendum that people are ticking yes or no for?
Yeah, one would be the bicameral parliamentary system. And then there's also the nobody can be a prime minister for after 2 times. So alongside there will be changes in the polling systems. There are certain procedures in the 84 referendums. Now, the public, some of them are confused regarding all of the issues, but as I said, many of them are supporting the national referendum and they are planning to vote yes. So it is yet to be seen what's going to happen, really.
Yet to be seen what's going to happen. So clearly, it's just not about the election. It is also about the referendum that is underway. The results will be known post 4:30 p.m. and it's going to be a long night here in Dhaka. So far, when it comes to reports of violence, there haven't been any major reports of violence. There have been reports of scuffles happening between the supporter of the Jamaat and the BNP. But largely, for the authorities, the big focus remains as to make sure that the election and the referendum remains violence-free.
Correctly mentioned, Siddhant, and even earlier when we were interacting, you showed us the police deployment, and I saw that in our other reports as well. In any frame, we are seeing enough number of security officials passing by, and that's what other reports are also suggesting. So there has been a concerted effort to ensure these elections remain violence-free. That was Siddhant Sibal getting us the latest from Dhaka. Siddhant, we'll connect with you again in a bit. All right, and earlier in the day, we were also joined by Shafiqut Rabi, political columnist and faculty at University of Dallas. He shared his views on who has an edge as the voting gets underway in Bangladesh. It's the battle of the Rahmans this time, a shift from the battle of the Begums. This is what Rabi had to say.
This is a fantastic election that we are hoping peaceful and also fairly competitive. The election was supposed to be northeast tight, but over the last 1 month, we have noticed that there is a considerable tightening of the race, particularly among the youth and the less affluent population. So that population is becoming a slightly anti-establishment. And unfortunately, right now for BNP and other mainstream political parties, the anti-establishment sentiment is high among the youth and the rural population.